So I recently found out there's a thing called an opinion piece, and upon further research, I can't use it to shield myself from people telling me my opinions are dog shit, so this is not a video essay, this is not a reasonable script stating my case, this video is pure propaganda fueled by unreasonable love from my heart to your ears, and I want that to be heard loud and clear. Now, I like a lot of stuff, probably too much stuff, so I'm going to compress this down to only a few things I want to talk about today, and maybe I'll make another video some other time. If you just want to see what it is, here they are. I'm not going to go too in-depth on all these things. If you want to check it out yourself, I want you to be able to. Why these categories? First up is Moon RPG Remix. And this game is amazing. I really have no words to describe how much I love this game. So here's some words as to why I love this game. Moon RPG labels itself as an anti-RPG game, where your goal is not to save the world by killing creatures and leveling up, but to live day to day as this guy. And this world really does feel alive. You get to talk to the NPCs and learn about side quests and their schedules. You can explore the world and see the different jungles and deserts in it. And you're also going around and saving the souls of monsters killed by the hero of the story. And that's the info you can get from the store page, but nothing can really capture the character of the game without playing it yourself. I mean, in my opinion, I guess. I mean, look at the world. Look at this guy. The art, the music. This game is... it's peaceful, and stressful, and strange. The environments range anywhere from Fantasy Town to Technopolis. But my favorite part of the game has to be when you walk up to this TV and tune in for an episode of Love and Animals. I don't know why, but playing this game and slowly collecting and seeing all these animals you've helped is just really cathartic. When I first played this game, I made sure to end every session with a visit to the Love and Animals TV show and just check out all the new guys I saved. I'm really doing my best to describe the game without just reviewing it and shit. This is really hard, alright? Look, this game was made with real love, and you don't need to know every background detail and design decision that went into this game to enjoy it. Did I say anything of substance in this short paragraph? Probably not, but, the game is fun, it's full of life, it's simplistic, it's experimental. You can sit down for a bit of fishing or try to outbet the cowboy in the desert. I don't know what else to say, just, if you're interested, check the game out. Betrayal at Club Low. Okay, so if Moon RPG is strange, then this game is just bonkers, kind of weird. The insanity is turned up all the way for this one. Your objective is to get into a nightclub and rescue an undercover agent. The really unique thing about it is this game is all based on gambling. You like D&D? It's like D&D, but you're rolling to impress the crowd on the dance floor, or telling the DJ that his boss is scamming him and he should probably leave. Or fuck it, you can walk through a grid of lasers and just straight up face tank it. I'm not going to say the game has no limits. It's very obviously all these actions are predefined, but the game is very much carried by this novelty and wackiness of the world. Depending on if you succeed or fail different rolls, you can get modifiers that affect your future rolls. You can also level up your own stats to make your dice more favorable in certain scenarios, and from there it's just about exploring the club, finding ways to reach your end goal, and rolling with luck on your side. Now, obviously, humor is subjective, and maybe you don't enjoy this type of comedy in a game. That's fine, but I'm happy to appreciate the fact indie developers are willing to make interesting games like this. I don't mean in the way that AAA is like always slop or that gaming isn't fun anymore type of deal. I mean just throwing ideas out there, following a thread that others may not enjoy, but you crank to its maximum. It's human, it's real, and I love it, and I love that Betrayal at Club Low exists. This developer actually has other games I haven't gotten to yet, but from what I know they aren't like this game. They're more narrative point-and-click titles set in the same universe. Tales from Offbeat City. You can check that out on Steam or itch.io if you want to. Kagurabachi. I considered making an entirely separate video for this manga, and honestly, I still might. To be clear, I'm a sucker for shonen, and I mean potentially my favorite manga/anime of all time is One Piece, so that should, be obvious. Sorry, I clicked my knuckle there. Now, Kagurabachi starts as a somewhat generic, but, decent-looking shonen. And that does kind of suck because it did lead to a lot of people immediately writing off the series with the memes that spawned from it. But I guess I can't complain that much since I started reading it because of the memes. I was just bored one day and I thought about it and I looked it up and here we are. Anyway, the story quickly evolves into a supernatural samurai magic type of story. There's lots of sword wielders, lots of super powered individuals, and a few magicians here and there. The real hook to me wasn't actually the characters that much, at least at the beginning, though I find I have a lot of love for certain characters as the series has continued. However, the action scenes and honestly the art in general really appealed to me. The power system stuff isn't super in-depth, which I don't mind at all, but it does exist and the characters do have, certain limitations and they use their abilities in unique ways. To be completely honest, a recent arc made me realize I just genuinely love this series. So much so that I went out and bought the first volume of the manga at a local bookshop just to begin collecting it. I don't think anyone is required to love it or anything. It is shonen. I know people hold strong opinions about this kind of stuff, but personally, I didn't expect it to become probably my second favorite currently running manga when I started reading it. So while the story starts out somewhat generic, I really recommend sticking through enough of it to see the actual depth of the story. And I know you hear that a lot in shonen, but fuck it. You do whatever you want, actually. I love Lupin the Third, but fuck, man, I will change my profile picture to Samura, and that's saying something because I didn't even switch my profile picture for Luffy. So, and yes, I love Luffy's my favorite One Piece character. Yes, don't fucking bother me with that. Blank Canvas, my so-called artists. I'm so sorry, dude. That S is so hard for me. Blank Canvas, my so-called artist's journey. I cried finishing this manga. It's a strong way to open, but it happened. Blank Canvas is actually an autobiography of the author's life, from her time as a high schooler with an overinflated ego about her art, to a young woman in college not really keeping up with her priorities, to eventually a mangaka. Specifically, the story follows the life of Akiko Higashimura and her teacher Kenzo Hidaka. I think the story is truly kind of a letter of respect for her life and her teacher. There's a lot of going over the everyday beats of her time as an artist still studying or working at a call center or skipping class and everything. But every now and then the author interjects with some introspective thoughts from today, like a retrospective look at her life. It's a very sweet story, and the fact it isn't fictional makes it very beautiful, honestly. The one thing Kenzo Hidaka asked of all his students was simply to draw. Whatever it takes, just draw. This story hit me like a fucking brick. I won't spoil anything specific, but towards the end of the story, there's a scene that, it's a scene that made me cry. It basically made me fucking bawl. So, I think a lot of people should read this manga, but especially if you, want to learn art or if you're already any level of artist, I think the human element in the story is represented incredibly well. As per my last video, I've struggled with sticking to things. Art is at the forefront of that list, if that wasn't clear. And I won't lie, I haven't even started yet. That video was an entire month ago. I know, words alone won't change anything. But damn, reading those words to just draw affected me on a level I don't think I can even fully appreciate at this time in my life. And maybe you feel I'm exaggerating. That's fine. Either way, please take the time to read Blank Canvas, my so-called artist's journey, and tell me your thoughts. Aquarium City. City pop fish vibes. That is the sentence I will use to describe this album. Louis Zong is a really cool dude, I assume. I don't know. Actually, wait, I take that back. Okay, well, Louis Zong for sure is an illustrator, an animator, a musician. I often joke about Daisuke Ishiwatari, the creator of Guilty Gear, being too good at everything. And I think I would make the same jokes about Louis Zong. Aquarium City is this magical teleportation device that when I'm listening to it, I feel like I'm on a beach sitting by the ocean listening to this album. There's piano, there's trumpets. Aquarium City. It blends together so nicely, and that's just the first track of the album. There's other tracks on the album. Dolphin Destiny I really like, that has a very beautiful violin. And look at this tracklist image. This guy is ridiculous. I love his work, and it seems like he does too, which is great. I respect the effort put into all of his work, and he sells his entire discography on Bandcamp for literally $1, which is ridiculous. And he uploads everything he does onto YouTube. So I just want to be clear here. This is obviously made with years of experience, hard work, and dedication to reach this point. As much as I joke about creators like Daisuke or Louis Zong here, that they have an insane amount of skill that is just appears, the truth is, they've probably done way, way more that has failed than any of us have tried to succeed at, and it's taken them years of their life to get to this point. So I don't believe it's fair to anyone to say that they simply have like the talent for it or they're simply just that good. You know, it takes a lot of time, a lot of ups and downs, and that goes for anyone on this list that has worked on a project I mentioned. And if Louis Zong ever sees this, you are inspirational. I really love all your work, and I'm glad that I was able to discover it. Plus, Rat Taxi. And yet still, I really enjoy Odyssey's music, and I'm not here to get into the nitty gritty and do full breakdowns of like music analysis and stuff. I mean, the last segment was like a minute long, so I don't think I'm the smartest guy about this kind of stuff, but I love being able to share my emotion and experience with music and games and everything, and that's why I'm talking about this album. It's actually an EP. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but this EP to me sounds kind of like living in a city with that classic hip-hop sound and a sort of soul like infused into it. I'm sure you guys hear that shit a lot, but like a soulful sound infused into it. It sounds so incredibly human. Odyssey has a way with both his lyrics and like a punch to his voice. Again, I'm not a breakdown analysis guy, but he has this kind of like punch in the lyrics that I really like. My favorite song on the EP is called Thankful For, and I'm going to simplify this a lot, but Odyssey describes his life in this song that's filled with both struggle and his perseverance to overcome that struggle. When he eventually makes it out, he realizes he has a lot to be thankful for in his life, and says to the listener, every day can be better as long as you take a chance, as long as you take some action in your life, which, considering my last video, I very much relate to. I'll be honest, this one pick alone is not enough for Odyssey's discography, and I highly recommend listening to older albums and EPs too. I'll gladly recommend you The Iceberg and The Good Fight. I'm breaking my rules here because I'm adding a couple of things I didn't really say I was going to talk about, but The Iceberg and The Good Fight, both incredible albums, and if you'll allow me, I'm going to read an excerpt from the Bandcamp page for The Good Fight. For Odyssey, The Good Fight is about living fully as a musician, without succumbing to the traps of hedonism, avarice, and materialism. It's music that yields an intangible feeling, the sacral sound of an organ whine, brass horns, or cymbal crash. It's a meditation on our capacity to love and the bonds binding us together. It's our ambition and greed warring with our sense of propriety, a list of paradoxes we all face when living and striving. The Good Fight acknowledges the stacked odds, but refuses to submit. By no means do I believe that these are the definitive ways to experience Odyssey's music, but these are picks that I enjoy and listened to when I first found his music. And I mean, I just found out he's got a new album I wasn't even aware of called En Route. I'm going to have to give that a listen after I'm done recording this video. If anything piqued your interest, I definitely recommend checking it out. However, I do have some suggestions on where to check it out. I know not everyone cares about DRM-Free, stuff like that, but I care about it at least a little bit, so I want to share where you can get these kinds of options for things on this list. So unfortunately, GOG or GOG doesn't have a Moon RPG Remix or Betrayal at Club Low available for purchase, but Club Low is available on itch.io, and it comes with a DRM-free version of the game and a Steam key with the same purchase. Moon unfortunately doesn't have any alternatives, so feel free to check that out on Steam if you want to pick it up, and of course Club Low is also available on Steam. Manga, I've honestly got zero idea. The most I can say is a local bookstore. Check it out there. Maybe they'll have some available. If anybody knows where to find manga, especially ones like Blank Canvas, please let me know, because I have zero idea, and I can only find used copies on eBay, and most of them are not in English, unfortunately. So, as for music, Louis Zong posts all of his music for free on YouTube, but again, you can check it out on his Bandcamp, which his entire discography is available for only $1. And I mean, I recommend you pay more than that if you want to get it all, but that is an option available. Odyssey also has at least most of his albums on Bandcamp, and sometimes that has options to also purchase either CDs or vinyls as well if you're interested in that. And on top of that, you can purchase Odyssey's albums DRM-free from the service called Qobuz. I'm not going to get in depth with what Qobuz is today, but if you want to purchase the album on there, it is available on their store. So please do support these artists and creators wherever you can, especially if you want to experience anything I mentioned here today. And that's the first real video I wanted to make, out of love and not frustration this time. Feel free to share any art or games or manga, movie, whatever in the comments so I can check it out. I may even open up that YouTube community page thing in the future so people can make full posts about whatever they want to talk about. But we'll see. I haven't explored it too much. Next video will hopefully be made earlier. I really dragged my feet on this one, so I'm sorry about that. No, I'm not sorry, actually. It's my channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon.